Our rivalry with them really started in the 2015 season when we first moved up to Division II. I tell the kids the story before we play them every year. It was our quarterfinal playoff game. We had come in as one of the top seeds. They again were an 8 seed. Seems like that happened going forward. It seemed like that happened every year. We would match up in the quarterfinals with them. But we had a kid on the team that year, Joe Costa, and his sister had been going through some things, battling a lifelong illness, and the night before had passed away. And it was a really emotional time for the team. Came in that day, and we were kind of flat, and St. Thomas was playing really well, and it did not look good. It looked bleak going into the fourth quarter. And we said, guys, we're going to leave it on the line right now. We're going to 10-man ride. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to play our hardest. And we battled back, and we scored with literally like 0.4 seconds on the clock to send it into overtime. A rainbow breaks out over the top of the field. We end up winning in overtime. The rainbow represented the disease that Joe's sister had.
Practice before we play St. Thomas every day. Head tells the story. It kind of gets the guys' energy up, gets the guys going a little bit, and then we always remember it before the game, especially in like a night game like that. Kind of the environment we're in. Everyone's definitely playing a little bit harder, just putting a little more effort out there, and definitely just. We want to win those games, definitely, for sure.
That changes the mindset of the team and the game going into it, because for Coach, the game is really just bigger than any one game or any one team or any one individual. So you're kind of playing not just for this team that we have in 2023, not just for yourself, but you're playing for Derryfield Lacrosse and its history. So it means a lot, and it kind of brings us together into one unit more than individual players.
If I'm spiritual or not, but in that moment, if there is another chapter to our lives afterwards, I gotta believe Joe's sister was looking down on us at that point and helped us get through that game. And I made a promise to Joe and his family that day that, hey, we're never gonna lose to St. Thomas. And we all knew that was like something that's impossible, right? You don't know, but basically the message was, I will promise you that our guys will always be ready for this game. That if your sister felt that it was important enough to watch over us that day, that I owe it to her and I owe it to you that our guys will always play our best. Can't guarantee we're always going to win, but we're going to make sure that we're ready and play that game and remember it. So I do make sure that the guys understand how special this game is, and I have no doubt they will be ready on Friday, and we're looking forward to it because it's a great opponent. They've got some really good players, and it should be a really good test for us on Friday. down 3 guys, we said, Finley DeTola was the one, and he had a very good game. He did some really nice things. He ended up with 4 goals. He was the other player, and we didn't execute that third of the game plan as well as we wanted to. We did a great job against Estes and DiMartino, 2 really talented players. We knew it was going to be really hard to shut them down, and the guys did a really good job of that. Parker made some really big saves in the fourth quarter when we needed him to, but we needed to do a little bit. But shutting down 3 really good players like that is a tall task. But, I challenged our guys. I said, I think we're up for it. We did 2 out of 3. We were 66%. We at least passed, but we didn't get the grade that we wanted to overall. And I think that's where the defense was a little bit upset, is that they knew we could have, and we got to learn from that and come back. If we see them again in the playoffs or something like that, they're going to make adjustments, and we have to make adjustments. But overall, they did a really good job with the game plan.
It was really good to see skilled players, because their offense mostly runs through 2 players, so we keyed in on them. And it was good practice for us to be targeting specific players and preparing a game plan around them, because we haven't really done that yet this year. But I think we executed pretty well. And they had some moments where they got away from us, but overall I think we went out and we played what we wanted to do.
Said in the huddle, we looked at each other and we're like, guys, we need to stop trying to score 3 goals every time we have 1 possession. And that was, it was a little bit of a credit to St. Thomas. They were playing physical, they were playing fast, they were speeding up the game in the defensive end of the field to make us play a little bit more chaotic, right? And we had some opportunities where we didn't change the plane, we didn't find the back of the net, and all of a sudden we were in that situation. So guys, take a deep breath. We've had opportunities, we're going to have more opportunities, we just need to finish, right? We're doing a pretty good job in the defensive end. We made a few adjustments in the clearing game. We're uncharacteristically a little chaotic in the clearing game in the first quarter. Once we got those things settled down, I love the resolve. I love the resolve and the grit of our kids to kind of say, embrace. We talked about that at halftime. Embrace being in a great game, right? It's Friday night. You got a huge crowd here. This is what we're in a competition right now, and and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it. Lean into it. And the kids really did in the second half. They executed really well all the things that we needed to do to get that win. And then, I think even then they walked out the field feeling like, man, we could have done even better than we did. But hey, it's great early in the season to kind of see that.
That game was definitely humbling. We came out. I think it came out a little too hot. Came out a little too confident. Forcing some things, making little mistakes, dropping passes. And when we were 3-3, it kind of set in. Everyone knows teams that we're not going to be having an easy walk through the whole year. So teams like that, we're going to actually have to buckle down, and play well. And I really liked how the team responded, especially in the second half. And just moving the ball better, just hitting guys in the back door, making that one extra pass, and just putting it in the back of the net.
really encouraging. We knew that they were going to be a tougher opponent, but everyone was kind of excited for it because after, blowing people out by like 20 goals, you want some competition, you want a hard game. So we were actually really excited and we were enjoying it. I think that kind of fueled the lead that we then built after the half.
Right now, again, not a huge score, but like some of his goals have been really timely. I mean, his goal in the St. Thomas game was huge. I think that got us, I'm trying to remember if it got us to like 5 or 6. I think it was the 5th goal, just a step down from the wing, playing with a lot of confidence right now, got his hands free, and he's coming up with some big timely goals. And again, always been a guy between the lines that's done some really good things for us, plays great defense, and gets all the ground balls that we need.
I didn't really think a lot about it. I just got the outlet pass from Max, and he was telling me to throw it on net, and I saw Chili cutting through, so I tried to rip the pass to him.
Immediately, I thought that if we were going to shoot, I should try and screen the goalie. The ball got up to Kramer. He turned and he fired it. It was a great play by the defense to get the ball back. I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
Initially, I saw him cutting, so I didn't want to hit him with the ball. So I just tried to throw it to get it on the left side of the net, and he happened to be there, caught it, and finished it, and put us in a good place going into the 4th quarter.
John left me plenty of time to shoot, so I kind of figured if I could get it in and out as quick as I could, it would probably be on net.
I had just come off and I was sitting on the bench drinking water, so I was kind of behind everyone a little bit, and I was just hearing put it on net, and I went back to last year when we played them. To end the half, Quinn Silvio shot it from half field, bouncer, and it went in. And I was just thinking about that, so I stood up and looked, and of course right there, Chili catches it, turns, and fires one to beat the buzzer. And I think everyone that brought the energy back a little bit. Everyone was a little relaxed, a little down, but then that brought the energy back up to start the 4th quarter.
I've been coaching long enough to know that if you give teams opportunities, if you make things like that happen, I've seen it enough times where crazy things like that happen. You give yourself an opportunity, right? Why waste an opportunity? There's a couple seconds, especially now with the new rules, right? The ball just has to be in the air. If it's in the air and it's live and the buzzer's gone off, it's still a live ball until it hits the ground. And so that's what I've really been hammering home with my kids is if we have that opportunity, make the goalie make a save, make the defense knock it down, right? Put them in a stressful situation. And I don't know exactly what happened. I haven't watched the film yet, but I almost feel like that some of the defenders let their guard down a little bit, right? It's not going to get here, or it's just going to be in the air. And Chili was able to slip behind his defender. I think the shot was going wide. I'm not sure it was actually on net. And Chili was able to pick it off. I think the goalie was coming out to kind of pick it off too and run through it and just didn't see Chili coming out. And I actually knew it was a goal, because I saw Chile release it before I heard the horn go off. I was just more scared that the ref wasn't going to call it, because it was a bang play, and but I was really confident that he had gotten it off in time.
Yeah, like I said, I think the momentum that it brought was bigger than the play, just because it was like the last play before the fourth quarter, and we went in and it just gave us like a step up.
Throughout the game, we had a high energy level. I think we were playing really well. We definitely made a few mistakes, but that's just the game of lacrosse. I think when that team play came in, I think everyone got so fired up that it continued into the next quarter, and I think we were really rolling after that.
Super proud of the kids. I mean, John to have the just collective wherewithal to get his feet set, get his hands free, get a good shot that got it on net. And gave us a chance to put it there, and it really did swing momentum. Similar, last year, Quinn Silvio, same thing, right before halftime, hits a 70-yard, high bounce shot right up and over that, kind of broke the spirit last year, and I feel like that gave us some breathing room and definitely swung momentum back in our favor. I think at one point we were up 8-3, and they had scored 2 in a row to pull within 8-5. We make that stop, and then they get that goal going in the fourth quarter. Really gave us a chance to kind of right the ship and settle things down a little bit.
Recently, I've been getting a little unlucky. I mean, against Sauhegan, I went 0-0, 0 goals, 0 assists, but I had like 10 shots on net. So sometimes there's days where you just don't have it. Sometimes there's days where you do have it. But in the games like that, where I score goals like that, it kind of matters a little bit more to me, and I take it a little more personally. So I think in those situations, I get a little more excited, a little more fired up, especially with a big crowd like that in the night game.
At the end of the day, when we're playing a team that we beat by 18, 19 goals, no, it doesn't matter. If you score, yes, it would have been nice to get some points in that game, but big time players show up in big time games, and that's he executed when we needed him to. And even in the games where he has had lower point totals or hasn't scored, his presence on the field draws a slide every time. It allows other guys to have success out there, and so I don't think anybody thinks that Tate is not a good player, is not having a good year. He's having a great year right now. And the things he does to instill confidence in the other guys on the field or to make the defense play in a certain way so that it frees up other players is huge. Anybody who watches high-level lacrosse sees that. The best players in college, they're doing that to allow other guys, to get free and get good shots. And again, we've never designed our offense to feature one guy on our team for that exact reason, that, if that guy's having a bad day, then the whole team falls apart, and it didn't.
we played Exeter and they were great competition, and St. Thomas was the next step for competition Division II. So it was great to get another challenge, and I'm glad to see all the boys just stepped up and played well.
I think that we had moments where there was a little bit of a lull, but I think we got together and we rallied together, and we definitely were like, all right, like this is our game. We're at our place. We're home, right? We got all our fans, and I think that if we can really rally together, we can get a win. And luckily, that's what happened.
It was really cool to see some other guys step up. Brady Daldo with a huge goal to kind of ice the thing at the end of the game. In the Souhegan game, Liam Canty steps up and has 7 points in that game. So it's been neat to kind of see other guys, make a name for themselves. And these guys, Alex Murray, Chile, they've gotten really good at reading their defender and being able to cut back door, or, the ball's on one side, we swing it to the other, and all of a sudden they're cutting through the middle, catching it on the run and finishing there. It's really made our offense dynamic where, again, we're not just relying on one person to dodge to the cage. Really is planning ahead at that point. You're only going to have 2 practices, right? So you got to really think about what do you want to accomplish in those practices, right? And the way we like to run practices is keep everybody moving, keep it high paced, high energy, but it tends to be during those weeks that you have to slow things down a little bit because there's going to be 6v6, man up and man down, riding and clearing stuff that you want to do that you have a limited amount of time, so you can't waste days, right? And it makes it tough, especially when we practice the way we do. We like to practice as a whole team. And some of our younger players can't do some of the stuff that we're asking them to do. So practices get a little bit slower then. We have to we break things up. Luckily, hopefully we have our full coaching staff with us so that we can break groups off and say, hey, you guys aren't going to be involved in this portion of practice. You're going to go work on this instead. If we can't do that, then yeah, it slows things down a little bit. But, I think setting goals each week in terms of things we want to accomplish on offense and defense, and so that the kids can see what we're doing in practice is leading towards that, that's really big for us. And that'll be key going forward this week. It's vacation week for a lot of schools. We're not on vacation. We do have Monday, Tuesday, but we told our kids we want to be building and peaking. We want to win our 2 games during the week, and we're looking towards a great out-of-state matchup with Westwood, Massachusetts. It was a fantastic game. It was a 1-goal game in 2019. COVID got in the way, and they didn't get a chance to return the favor, so they're coming up here this year. And they got an LSM that's committed to BU, and they've got some other really, really good guys on their team. They look like they're very similar to us on paper. And so it should be a great atmosphere under the lights, and we're looking forward to it.
I definitely think it's going to be tougher than what we've played this season so far. It's definitely going to be a real good challenge for us. I think all the guys are a little excited. It's a new team, kind of just being curious about what they're like. We don't know too much about them. We know something. I know they have a good LSM going to BU. They got just little things like that, but I think their guys are confident in how we're going to play. And if we play well, I think we know we can beat them.
Kind of like a bucket of cold water on your head, wakes us up a little bit and gets us in the mindset that when we get later in the season and we start playing teams like Concord, Division I, and then Portsmouth, is that we're going to have competition and we're going to need to be able to respond to pressure. So it's good to get that out of the way earlier in the season against an opponent who's good, but we're obviously more skilled than them. But it's kind of a good intro. And then Westwood will be really interesting. I know nothing about them. Ethan Flanagan went to Ithaca over the weekend. He was talking to some kids from Massachusetts who were there, and they said that Westwood's pretty legit, so we'll see.
I think it's, everyone's thinking this is a huge game. Saturday night, we'll get a huge crowd out and we'll all get fired up, but it's definitely a big game. We know where we stand. We know what we have to do to compete. We know what our effort level needs to be. And I think that if we can come out and we can start rolling that, we should be able to get a W out of it.
Until you see the speed of the other team, until you see the size of the other team, until they start hitting, right? All those things are going to be different. And so yeah, it is. You're right. We do have some film. We've got a scouting report, but you're right. Until we actually get out there and play, it's not like this is a team we play every year. But on the flip side of that, they have the same issue, right? We're at home. It's our field. We know the bounce. We've got to go out and play our game, and if we do that, I heard Chili talking earlier, I think we do. I think we have a great shot. We've got a great group of kids that believe in the system that we're playing, And I think the STA game was the best thing that could have happened to us. Is wakes these guys up a little bit. We got to fight through some adversity, and proves that hey, when the chips are on the line, we can play and execute when we need to. That's what I'm expecting Saturday night. And I think if we do that, then we'll come out on the winning side. But yeah, it should be a real good test. From everything I've seen, they're very similar to us. It's going to be a great matchup.